The evening lights of the mixed alien-human marketplace glowed softly as people rushed in every direction. Vendors shouted, machines hummed, and strange smells filled the air. In the middle of this busy chaos walked a simple-looking human man named Aaron. He wore plain clothes and carried a calm expression. No one around him knew his real identity. No one knew he was one of the richest humans in 3 star systems. He chose quiet streets and simple clothes so he could live one normal day without guards and reporters following him. As he walked past a row of fruit stalls, he felt someone staring at him. Before he could turn, a small hand grabbed his jacket. Aaron looked down and saw a young alien girl. She was thin, shaking, and covered in dust. Her bright blue eyes were full of fear. She looked like she had not slept for days. Before Aaron could speak, she whispered, "Please, pretend to hug me." Aaron froze. He had never seen this girl before. Her small hands were cold, and her voice trembled like she was begging for her life. She stepped closer and wrapped her arms around him quickly, as if she knew him well. "Just act normal," she whispered again. "Please. They are watching." Aaron slowly raised his arms and placed them around her shoulders. He did not know why she needed this, but he could feel her whole body shaking. Something terrible had scared her. Then he saw them. 3 tall, armored aliens stood at the end of the street. Their helmets reflected the lights. Their weapons hung at their sides. They scanned the crowd like hunters searching for prey. The girl hid her face against Aaron's chest when she noticed them looking in her direction. Aaron lowered his head and whispered, "Who is after you?" The girl shook her head quickly. "Not here. Not loud. Please." The armored aliens looked at Aaron and the girl for a moment. They paused, exchanged signals with each other, and then moved on, continuing down the market road. The girl finally breathed out, but tears rolled down her cheeks, like she was used to hiding her pain. "It is safe for now," Aaron said softly. "Tell me what happened." But the girl stepped back and shook her head again. "I cannot say it here. They can hear. They hear everything." Aaron looked around. People continued walking, laughing, and buying things. No one noticed that a scared child had nearly been taken. No one noticed that a girl was fighting for her life. Aaron looked into her frightened eyes. He had seen fear before in business, in war meetings, in political threats. But this girl's fear was different. It was the fear of someone who had lost everything. "What is your name?" he asked gently. "Lyra," she whispered. "Where are your parents?" Her eyes dropped to the floor. She did not answer. Aaron felt something heavy in his chest, a feeling he had not expected today. He could not leave her alone. Not after seeing those hunters. Not after hearing her broken voice. "Come," he said quietly. "Not far from here. Just a safe place to talk." Lyra hesitated. She looked at the crowd, then at the direction where the armored aliens had gone, then at Aaron. Slowly, she nodded. She followed him through the side streets, keeping close behind him. Every sound made her jump. Every shadow made her look over her shoulder. She walked like a child who had been running for too long. Aaron led her to a small cafe in a quiet corner of the district. It was half empty, warm, and lit by gentle yellow lamps. He chose a seat near the back where no one could see them clearly. Lyra sat down, gripping the edge of her chair tightly. Aaron spoke softly. "You are safe here. No one will touch you now." She looked at him for a long moment. Her eyes were wet, but there was a small spark of hope in them. Then she finally whispered, "Human. They want to take me because of what I heard." Aaron's calm expression changed. He leaned forward slightly. This was not a normal chase. Something bigger was happening. But Lyra still did not know who he really was. She did not know he had power, connections, technology, and enough influence to change her fate completely. To her, he was just a kind stranger who agreed to hug her. And that was the beginning of everything. Inside the quiet cafe, The warm lights made the room feel peaceful, but Lyra could not relax. Her fingers kept shaking on the table. She looked toward the windows again and again, afraid that the armored aliens might appear at any moment. Aaron noticed her fear growing stronger, so he spoke gently, hoping his voice would calm her. "You are safe here," he said. "No one will take you while I am with you." Lyra tried to believe him, but fear was still controlling her every breath. Her eyes moved around the room, studying every corner. She had lived in hiding for too long, and safety felt strange to her. Aaron ordered warm food and a drink for her. When the tray arrived, she stared at the plate for a long moment. It had been days since she tasted real food. Slowly, she picked up a spoon and began to eat, her hands trembling. Aaron did not rush her. He waited patiently, watching her with quiet concern. After a few minutes, Lyra finally whispered, "Thank you, human." Aaron asked softly, "Will you tell me now? Why were they after you?" Lyra lowered her head. "I should not say it. If I speak it, danger will follow." "It already followed you," Aaron said. "You ran onto a crowded street. You hugged a stranger. You begged for help. Now you found safety, and you are still scared. Tell me the truth so I can understand." Lyra looked up. Her blue eyes were filled with pain, but also a small spark of trust. She took a deep breath, then nodded slowly. "I overheard something," she said. "Something I was never supposed to know." "What did you hear?" "A plan," she whispered. "A plan involving humans. A plan involving my people. A plan to start a silent war." Aaron leaned forward. "Who made this plan?" Lyra shook her head quickly. "I cannot say their name. If I speak it, machines will catch the sound. They listen everywhere. They have ears and walls and roofs and air. If they hear I told someone, they will find me." Her voice cracked. Her hands squeezed tightly together. She looked like a child carrying the weight of an entire world. Aaron softened his tone. "Did those armored aliens belong to the same group?" "Yes," she said. "They are trackers, hunters. They can smell fear. They can follow a person from planet to planet. They do not stop until they catch their target." Aaron felt a cold tension in his chest. This was more serious than he expected. "How long have you been running?" Lyra looked down at her feet. 2 months. Alone." Aaron asked gently. "Yes," she said. "I lost everything. My home, my people, my safe places. I slept under broken ships. I hid in drains. I stole leftover food. I kept moving. If I stopped, they would find me." Aaron took a slow breath. He had seen many tragedies in his life, but hearing this from such a young girl made him feel something he had not felt in years in Gur. Not at her, but at the ones chasing her. "You should not face this alone," he said. "I can help you." Lyra shook her head. "You cannot help. You are only a human man with kind eyes. They have machines and soldiers and powerful people." Aaron almost smiled at her words. If only she knew the truth. If only she knew that the simple human man she trusted was actually one of the most powerful humans in the galaxy. But he did not reveal it. Not yet. Instead, he asked, "Do they know you are here on this planet?" "Yes," Lyra said. "They have been searching every market and every road. They came closer today. If they catch me, they will erase me. And the plan will continue. No one will stop them." A small drone suddenly flew near the cafe window. Lyra gasped and ducked under the table, shaking like a leaf. Aaron quickly moved his chair to block the drone's view. The drone scanned the room once, then moved away. Lyra's breathing was sharp and fast. Aaron gently helped her back into her seat. "We cannot stay here," he said softly. "This place is not safe enough." "Where will we go?" she whispered. Aaron looked toward the deeper part of the city. "Somewhere only I know. Somewhere they cannot reach you." Lyra hesitated. She studied his face carefully, searching for danger or lies. She found none. For the first time in months, she felt a small piece of hope. "Okay," she whispered. "I will follow you." Aaron stood up and offered his hand. She took it slowly, her small fingers cold against his warm palm. Together, they stepped out of the cafe, moving into the shadows of the city. Neither of them knew that this moment, this decision, would change both their lives forever. Aaron and Lyra moved through narrow streets where neon lights flickered like tired stars. The deeper they walked into the city, the quieter it became. No vendors, no crowds, no hunters. Only old buildings, locked doors, and the sound of their footsteps. Lyra stayed close behind him, her eyes scanning every shadow. She trusted him, but fear still lived inside her like a permanent echo. "Where are we going?" she asked softly. "A place where no one will find you," Aaron said. "A place only I can open." His calm voice helped her walk without shaking, but her heart still beat fast. She had followed strangers before, dangerous strangers who pretended to help but wanted to capture her. But Aaron felt different. His kindness did not feel fake. His confidence felt real. His silence felt safe. They reached an old storage building made of rusted metal. It looked abandoned, with cracked walls and broken lamps. Lyra blinked with confusion. This did not look like a safe place at all. "This is it," she whispered, worried. Aaron smiled slightly. "On the outside, yes." He stepped toward a dusty metal panel, wiped the surface with his sleeve, and placed his hand on it. A red light scanned his palm. Then a mechanical voice said, "Identity confirmed. Welcome, Aaron Vale." Lyra's eyes widened. She had never heard that name before, but it sounded important. The old metal door suddenly slid open, revealing a bright elevator hidden inside. The lights were cold and white, nothing like the broken outside. Lyra stepped back in shock. "Who are you?" she whispered. "A friend," Aaron replied gently. "Someone who wants to keep you safe." He offered his hand again. After a moment of hesitation, she took it, and they stepped inside the elevator. The doors closed softly behind them. The elevator began to descend. Not one floor, not two. It went deep, so deep that Lyra felt the pressure in her ears. She clutched the handrail, her eyes wide in fear and curiosity. "How big is this place?" she asked. "Big enough," Aaron said. "Hidden enough." When the doors finally opened, Lyra gasped. She had stepped into a completely different world. The underground base was huge, glowing with blue lights and full of advanced human technology. Transparent screens floated in the air. Large machines hummed quietly. Sleek black drones rested in charging docks. Medical pods glowed softly, like sleeping capsules. Everything looked clean, expensive, and powerful. "This is your place." She whispered. "Yes," Aaron said. "But you live like a simple man up there," she said. "No one would guess this." "That is the point," Aaron replied. "No one can know." Lyra walked forward slowly, her eyes shining with shock and wonder. She touched a floating hologram that projected a star map. She stepped closer to a sleek human shuttle parked in a corner. She had never seen anything like this in her life. "Why do you have all this?" she asked. Aaron did not answer immediately. He walked to a table and activated a screen. It showed encrypted messages, news feeds, and movement patterns of alien groups. Lyra watched quietly. "Because," Aaron said softly, "helping people sometimes requires power, and hiding that power keeps me alive." Lyra felt a strange mix of fear and respect. The man she hugged on the street was not normal at all. He was someone important, someone dangerous, someone strong. She whispered, "I should not be here. If they find out you helped me, they will come after you." Aaron shook his head. "Let them try." His voice carried no fear, only calm determination. It made Lyra stare at him differently, not as a simple human, but as someone who could protect her from the monsters chasing her. Aaron walked to a small room and opened the door. Inside was a bed, warm blankets, and soft lights. "You can rest here," he said. "Eat, sleep. No one will reach you." Lyra stepped inside slowly. It felt unreal. She had slept on cold metal floors for weeks. Now she had a clean blanket, fresh air, and a door that locked from the inside. "Why? Why are you helping me?" she asked. Aaron looked at her gently. "Because you asked for help, and because no child should run alone in fear." Tears filled her eyes. Not from sadness this time, but from relief. She whispered, "Thank you, human." Aaron nodded and stepped back. "Rest. We will talk when you are ready." But as he walked away, Lyra looked around the glowing room and realized something important. This man was hiding something far bigger than she understood. And whatever truth he carried, it would soon change her entire life. While Lyra tried to rest inside the warm room, Aaron walked through the underground base with a heavy expression. The lights reflected on the steel walls as he checked screens, activated silent alerts, and monitored outside activity. Something inside him said this problem was bigger than a frightened child. The people hunting Lyra were not ordinary criminals. They were organized, fast, and ruthless. Above ground, the syndicate trackers were not wasting time. In the busy markets, armored aliens questioned vendors and scanned recordings. Their voices echoed between stalls as they threatened anyone who refused to answer. People lowered their eyes, pretending not to hear. No one wanted to attract the trackers' anger. The syndicate was feared throughout 3 systems. When they wanted someone, they usually got them. A bounty hologram floated above the main street. It showed a blurred image of a small alien girl. "Wanted Lyra. Dangerous information. Report immediately." But they did not say what information she carried. That part was secret. Inside the underground base, Aaron's screens detected movement. Small red dots appeared on the outer sensors, unidentified drones flying low, too close to his hidden entrance. "They are searching already," Aaron murmured. He tapped a few keys, activating a haze field to blind outside scanners. But he knew it would not hold forever. The syndicate's tech was evolving fast. Meanwhile, Lyra had not fallen asleep. Though the room was warm and safe, her nightmares kept her awake. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the armored hunters behind her. She saw the night her life changed, the whispers she overheard, the shadows she ran from, the home she lost. She sat up, hugging her knees, shaking again. After a moment, she left the room and walked toward the glowing hall. She found Aaron standing in front of a large screen, studying red symbols. "Human," she whispered nervously. "Is something wrong?" Aaron turned to her. "Did I wake you?" She shook her head. "No, my mind will not rest." Aaron knelt beside her so she could see the screen. "They have trackers close to the entrance above us. Small machines. Scouting." Lyra's eyes widened with fear. "They've found me again." "Already?" "Not yet," Aaron said calmly. "But they are getting closer." Lyra stepped back, guilt and fear mixing inside her chest. "I should leave. I bring danger to you. They will destroy this place. They will destroy you." Aaron stood up and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You will not leave, but you are under my protection now," he said firmly. "And I do not break my promises." His voice was steady, strong, and warm. Lyra felt her panic slow down a little. Aaron turned back to the screen. "You told me you overheard something important, something they want to erase. What you know must matter a lot, enough for them to risk coming near human territory." Lyra lowered her head. "It is my fault. I only wanted to help my people. I hid where I was not allowed. I heard them speaking. When they saw me, I ran. And now they want to silence me." Aaron's expression hardened. "They will not touch you again. Not while you are here." For a moment, Lyra simply looked at him. She could not understand how a simple man had so much courage. She did not know that the man before her was one of the most powerful humans alive, Someone the syndicate should fear, not the other way around. While Aaron checked security systems, the base light suddenly flickered. Lyra gasped. "What was that?" she whispered. Aaron typed quickly. They tried to hack the entrance. They are testing weaknesses. Will they break in?" Lyra asked. "Not yet," Aaron said. "But they will not stop." Lyra walked to a clear observation window showing the inside of the base. She saw drones lined up, armored suits, energy shields, and machines she did not understand. She finally realized something she had ignored until now. Human. She said softly, "This place is not normal. These machines are not normal. You are not normal." Aaron looked at her silently. She continued, "Who are you really?" He exhaled slowly, then said, "Someone who has fought dangerous enemies before. Someone who understands the power that chases you. Someone who will fight it." Lyra swallowed hard. "You are risking your life for me." Aaron shook his head. "Not just for you. For everyone your information might save." Before Lyra could ask more, an alarm beeped sharply. The red dots on the screen multiplied. The syndicate was surrounding the area. Fear rushed through Lyra again. She grabbed Aaron's arm tightly. "What will we do?" she whispered. Aaron's voice lowered, calm and steady, like he had faced hundreds of storms before. "We prepare," he said, "and we protect you at any cost." Lyra stared at him with new eyes, not as a stranger, but as the only person standing between her and the darkness hunting her. The battle had not begun yet, but the war had already arrived at their door. The alarms finally went quiet, but the tension stayed heavy in the underground base. Lyra stood beside Aaron, trembling slightly as she watched red dots blink across the security map. The syndicate was tightening its search, moving in slow circles around the district, like predators waiting for the right moment to strike. Aaron looked at her carefully. "Lyra," he said softly, "I cannot help you fully unless you tell me everything. What did you hear that made them chase you so far?" Lyra hesitated. Her fingers twisted together. She looked at the floor, then at the glowing screens, then back at Aaron. For days, she had kept the secret inside her heart, too afraid to speak it. But Aaron's calm eyes, his strong voice, and his protective nature made her feel something she had not felt in months. Safety. She took a slow breath. I heard a meeting," she whispered. "A secret one." "In my home district," Aaron nodded gently. "Who was in the meeting?" "High members of the syndicate," Lyra said. "And a council leader." Aaron's expression sharpened. "A galactic council leader? Are you sure?" Lyra nodded. "I saw his face clearly." He removed his mask for a moment. This was more dangerous than Aaron expected. The council leader was involved. The plan Lyra heard must be massive. "What did they discuss?" he asked. Lyra closed her eyes, remembering the voices that haunted her dreams. "They talked about a weapon," she whispered. "A silent one. A weapon that does not explode, but spreads through the air. It changes the mind. It makes people obey without knowing they are controlled." Aaron felt a chill. Mind-altering tech was banned in every system. Only the most ruthless groups would attempt to use it. "They tested it on alien populations," Lyra continued. "Villagers became calm. Too calm. They stopped thinking for themselves. They followed orders like empty shells." Aaron's jaw tightened. "And they plan to use this on humans?" "Yes," she said. The council leader asked when they would begin. The syndicate chief said soon. He said humans are the biggest threat to their rule. He said controlling humans is the final step. Aaron leaned back slowly. This was worse than he imagined. If this weapon spread across human colonies, millions could lose their free will. Lyra continued. "They also mentioned a location, a factory, a testing site. They said they would destroy all evidence after the final shipment." "Did you hear where it is?" Aaron asked urgently. Lyra nodded. Sector 9. Under the ruined mining fields, Aaron immediately opened a secure channel on the screen. His fingers moved fast, sending encrypted warnings to the human intelligence network, alerting them of the hidden danger. Lyra watched him with shock. She had never seen a normal man use such powerful systems. She whispered, "Human. You are not ordinary." Aaron looked at her, but did not answer that part. "What you know can save many lives," he said instead. "You did the right thing by running." Lyra shook her head. "No. If I had not listened, none of this would have happened. My people would still be alive. My home would not have burned." Aaron's voice became gentle. "You listened because you cared. That is not a mistake. That is courage." Lyra's eyes filled with tears. She had carried guilt alone for too long. Aaron continued, "You did not choose this war. It came to you. But now you have a choice to let fear silence you or to stand and help stop this plan." Lyra looked at him with trembling lips. "But I am just a child. I am weak." "No," Aaron said softly. "You are strong. You survived months alone. You outran trained hunters. You protected knowledge that can save entire worlds. That is not weakness." Tears finally fell down her cheeks. Not from fear this time, but from relief that someone believed in her. "I do not understand why you helped me," she whispered. Aaron placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "Because when you asked me to pretend to hug you, I saw the fear in your eyes. And I promised myself that fear would not follow you forever." Lyra stared at the hand on her shoulder. It felt warm, steady, and protective. Suddenly, the base lights flashed yellow again. A new alarm pulsed through the hall. Aaron turned to the screen. New red signals appeared stronger, larger, moving fast. "They found the ventilation exits," Aaron muttered. "The syndicate is preparing something." Lyra stepped closer, her voice shaking. "Will they break in?" Aaron did not look away from the screen. "They will try. But now we know the truth. They are hiding." He turned to her, eyes fierce with determination. "And we will not let them win." Lyra felt a strange feeling inside her chest. For the first time, she did not feel like she was running alone. The truth she carried was heavy. But now she had someone strong enough to carry it with her. The warning lights turned from yellow to red, filling the underground base with a sharp glow that made everything look dangerous and urgent. Lyra stood frozen, her breath shaking as she watched symbols flash across the screens. The syndicate was no longer searching, they were advancing. Aaron moved fast, pressing keys and activating defenses, his calmness never breaking. He had prepared for threats before, but this attack felt different. The syndicate was coming with full intention to break in, destroy evidence, and take Lyra at any cost. Lyra's voice trembled. "Human, they are coming here." Aaron nodded once. "Yes, and they know what they're doing." His eyes narrowed at the screen as heavy red dots appeared, large readings, strong signals. "Those are armored breachers," Aaron said. "Impact units. They don't use them unless they expect a fight." Lyra stepped closer to him, grabbing his sleeve like she needed something solid to hold on to. "We must run. We must hide again. This place cannot hold them." Aaron turned to her, his expression steady and full of confidence. "We are not running." Lyra stared at him, shocked. "But you said they will break in." "Yes," Aaron said. "But I did not say we cannot stop them." He moved across the room and opened a sealed compartment. Inside were sleek black drone spheres, shining with blue energy. Lyra gasped as he lifted one gently. "What are these?" she whispered. "Silent guardians," Aaron said. "Defense drones, they listen only to me." He tapped the side of the drone, floated up into the air, humming softly like a quiet storm. He activated 3 more. They formed a protective formation behind him. Lyra watched in awe. "How do you have such machines?" "Only high-command humans use these." Aaron did not answer directly. Let's just say, I have friends who trust me. But Lyra sensed it again, the truth he kept hidden. He was not a simple man. No ordinary human had access to technology like this. Suddenly, the entire base shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lyra stumbled, and Aaron grabbed her arm to steady her. They started drilling, Aaron said. They found the outer gate. The alarms became louder. Lyra felt fear build inside her chest. Memories of the syndicate's cruelty raced back: burned houses, empty streets, stolen children, her people collapsing after breathing the poisoned air. She had escaped that nightmare, only to find it again here. Aaron, she whispered, voice breaking. I do not want to be taken again. Aaron knelt in front of her, placing both hands gently on her shoulders. His voice softened. Listen to me, Lyra. I will not let them touch you. I promise you. As long as I stand, no one will take you. Her eyes filled with tears. But what if they harm you because of me? Aaron's calm smile returned. They can try. Another explosion shook the base. Metallic debris hit the floor. Drones beeped, switching into combat mode. The lights dimmed for a moment. Then glowing blue lines appeared on the walls as the emergency systems activated. Lyra watched the energy shields form across doorframes. Aaron stood tall. Time to move. He led Lyra toward the escape wing. Drones followed close behind, floating silently but ready to attack. As they walked, the walls shook again. Distant metallic roars echoed through the tunnels. Lyra clung to Aaron's arm. Her heart raced with every blast. Are they inside? She asked. Not yet, Aaron said, but they're close. They reached a large steel door that opened with a heavy hiss. Inside was a sleek human craft, small, silent, and shaped like a black arrow. Its engines glowed softly. Lyra stared at it. We are flying. Yes, Aaron said. We cannot protect this base anymore. But we can protect the information you carry. As he prepared the craft, a violent alarm screamed through the halls. Breach detected. Breach detected. Aaron looked at Lyra. Get inside. She obeyed quickly, sitting in the co-pilot seat. Her hands shook as she strapped herself in. Aaron joined her and activated the systems. The cockpit lit up with screens showing the tunnels, the breach points, and the approaching enemies. Lyra gasped when she saw armored figures entering the base. They were huge, carrying heavy weapons and glowing scanners. They are here, she whispered. Aaron's voice became cold and sharp. Let them come. He pressed a button. The drones raced out of the craft, shooting silently through the halls. Bright flashes appeared on the screens as the drones engaged the attackers. Aaron lifted the craft, engines humming softly. Hold on, he said. The ship blasted upward through an emergency tunnel just as explosions consumed the lower chambers. The underground base began to collapse behind them, disappearing into dust and fire. Lyra covered her mouth, eyes wide as the place that had protected her was destroyed. Aaron, she whispered. You're home. It was only a building, Aaron said. You are more important. Those words hit her harder than the explosions. She realized then he wasn't protecting her because of her knowledge alone. He was protecting her because he cared. War was coming. But she wasn't facing it alone anymore. The human craft soared through the night sky, silent and fast, leaving behind the burning ruins of Aaron's hidden base. Lyra sat quietly beside him, her eyes wide with sadness and awe. She had never flown this fast before. The stars outside the window looked closer than ever. But her mind was still filled with what they left behind: danger, fire, and a life she had barely started to trust. Aaron's face was calm as he guided the ship toward their destination. Where are we going now? Lyra asked softly. Home, Aaron said. Lyra blinked in confusion. I thought that base was your home. He shook his head. That was a shelter. Now I'm taking you somewhere real. Somewhere protected by more than walls. Lyra watched him closely. She could see something had changed in him. He was no longer just the quiet man who gave her a hug to help her hide. He was something much bigger, something powerful, respected, and deeply human. After an hour of silence, the ship landed on a green, peaceful hill surrounded by towers and quiet lights. It looked nothing like a military base. Instead, it felt like a peaceful world hidden behind safety shields. The doors opened and Lyra followed Aaron outside. What she saw next stopped her completely. Dozens of humans stood waiting, leaders, officers, doctors, and diplomats. When Aaron stepped out, many of them straightened their backs and saluted. Lyra looked up at him, shocked. Why are they saluting you? Aaron sighed softly, then finally said the words he had been hiding. Because I am Aaron Vale, billionaire magnate, Human Council advisor, founder of the Free Colonies Project. Lyra stepped back. Her mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. You're one of the top human leaders, she whispered. I didn't tell you earlier, he said gently, 'cause you needed a person, not a title. Tears filled her eyes again, and I hugged you like a stranger. Aaron smiled kindly. That hug may have saved more than just you. Lyra was led inside a tall building where her wounds were checked. Her data was safely stored, and her name was protected under high clearance. Aaron met with military intelligence, handing over her information about the syndicate weapon, the mind-altering gas, and the corrupt Galactic Council member. Within hours, human colonies were warned. Patrols increased. Research centers were alerted. The factory in Sector 9 was targeted and shut down by special units. The weapon never reached human cities. Lyra sat in a quiet garden behind the council hall that evening. The stars above her looked peaceful again. For the first time in many months, she felt the silence without fear. Aaron joined her, placing 2 warm drinks on the table. You're safe now, he said. Lyra looked at him with quiet eyes. I don't know what to do now. I have no home, no people. Aaron nodded slowly. Sometimes, home is not a place. It's a person who stood by you when no one else did. She looked down, remembering that first moment in the market, the moment she whispered, "Pretend to hug me." She had just needed a stranger to help her survive. Now that stranger had become her protector, her defender, her family. Aaron, she said quietly, will I stay here with you? He smiled. Only if you choose to. She stood slowly, then stepped closer to him. Her small arms wrapped around him again, not in fear. Not as a request, but as a real hug. I'm not pretending this time, she whispered. I know, Aaron said, and closed his arms around her gently. Behind them, humans worked to prepare for future threats. Plans were written. Codes were cracked. But none of that would have happened without one moment to scared alien girl. A simple human hug and the courage to protect someone who asked for help. No news story covered what Lyra had done. No headlines spoke her name. But in the secret halls of human history, her story became a quiet legend. A legend of trust. Legend of found family. A legend of a girl who changed the fate of a galaxy. By asking a human to pretend to hug her,